Okay, does that hear me? Do you hear me there, Brian? Do you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing?
Good. I'm sorry that didn't work out the first time, but this works great. I see you
Yeah.
fine. I'm going to do something here on the view. Something's a little odd here. I'm going to go to, there we go. It makes it easier for me to see you and you see me. And there we go. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Now, if I turn over this way, I'm writing things down here. I'm not ignoring you.
Okay.
Brian Lewis, did I pronounce that right or wrong?
Lewis, yeah.
Lewis. Lewis spelled uniquely. So I'm just going to write that Lewis phonetically. Okay. So tell me a little bit about yourself. You starting a business? You've already started a business. What's your status at current?
Yeah, I started a business in 2014. I do mental health. So that includes working with patients on a in-person basis, but then also in coaching. So doing like telehealth, kind of similar to what you're doing, I guess, but in from a um, working with individuals for their mental health.
Well, that's good. Now, are you considered a psychiatrist as well, and apply medicine prescriptions and that kind of thing as well?
Yeah, but only in the state that I work in. So I can't do that outside of my state.
I see.
So,
Yeah, that'd be tough to license everywhere.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to go through and answer questions you have. My expertise, I guess I'll say, is I work with beginner entrepreneurs. Sometimes I can coach some folks who have been doing a while and hit some snags and that kind of thing, or just want some good coaching in some regards about the things that they're dealing with. But my Living the Dream coaching has 12 sequential steps, and they're videos, lessons that I've done. And then I do on, one-to-one private coaching as well. I have a site that if somebody joins, becomes a member on it, they have a place to come for 2 times a week for a group Zoom coaching session where I take a person and answer their questions for about 15, 20 minutes. And then the next for about 90 minutes, so about 5 to 6, I get done. Everybody else still listens in though. And then those, they keep trying or sign up and they'll be personal, but it's other warriors in a sense listening in and watching, because there's a lot of questions that duplicate and some that are unique. And that's when, and then I have Ask Coach B, where they just type in a question, I send out answers that way. And then of course the one-on-one coaching like this. So that's kind of what I'm doing, but it's with folks that have all the way from here that talks about the 12 lessons. I won't bore you with a lot of it, but how to come up with a good idea, identify your target market. Well, you've done all that. You've done that for 6 or 7 years now. And how's it been going for you? Is it something you just was curious about in what we did with my little video and signed up for a free coaching session? What was your thoughts in clicking and going through that?
Yeah, a lot of what I've been doing is working with insurance companies, unfortunately. So that's how a lot of people pay for therapy and do the work for my inside my state. But then I'm trying to branch out and do consulting work so it's outside of my state, and that way I can still operate as a therapist, but not under my therapist license. But if it's outside of the state, then I'm just considered a consultant. And so, but the difference is it has to be all self-pay at that point. It can't be insurance based. So
Yeah, self-paid. Now, I know of a couple of gentlemen that I'm aware of and sent people to that uh, they do private, they do through insurance, but they also do private, people pay privately, but they usually charge around $125 to $150 for their hour. I don't know
yeah.
what range you're doing, but that's kind of what they've done. Is that similar to what you've done and set up for the personal ones that are outside of your state? If you get someone, is that kind of where it's at, or is it higher or lower?
I would say for people individually in person,
Yes.
it's between 150 and 200.
Okay.
But if I go outside of the state, then I'm doing similar to you, I would say, in the consulting world, and I'm charging a price per my whole 8-week package. And so that's higher price than that one. So
And you got to get it that way to, what does 1 hour do? I mean, you need at least an 8. Is it a weekly thing, twice a week? Is it monthly? What's the normal length of time that you're bringing them through your process?
yeah, it's once a week, and then but then they would still have access to my. I have 48 lessons in my program.
Ongoing.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, That's that. So now on that basis, working through insurance is a kind of a nice pipeline or a source to get some client slash leads, but on your own, you're having to market then to kind of let your word get out. And that's, are you currently doing that now, or that's what you're considering to go do? And
Yeah, I've been doing some Facebook advertising and marketing that way. And so just trying to figure out the best components for that. Some of it's been good and some of it's not so good. So
Facebook can be a monster.
yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I would say this, that number one, I admire you for getting after it and doing what you're doing. With the insurance, what would you ratio it out? Insurance sales state in state, and now when you're just branching out, it's not too much outside of state right now, but that's where you're heading to expand your base. What's your
Yeah,
split?
I would say it's 70% in state now and 30% out, but I want to flip that around in the next 6 months.
30% out. Wants to flip. Okay. Well, here's the thing. You already have your collection, your curriculum. You have your 48. What do you call them? Sessions, or how do you define
Yeah, just lessons.
modules?
Yeah, modules. Yeah.
Okay. And then the main thing, though, you have a package, and do you have an advertisement with Facebook? Was it to have a consulting with them, a free consulting with them to kind of let them know about what you're doing, see where they're at, and then offer to them that 8-week beginning package? Is that kind of step that you do? So you kind of do a session like this to inform them and to get a sense of where they're at and taking on another client. Now, taking on clients, you only have so many slots. Is it usually about an hour? So it's about an hour and a half to kind of have some gap in between the one to the next one. And so that's for a Monday through Saturday or a Monday through Friday or 3 times a week. Do you have kind of a max lid, what number of appointments you can do to max?
Yeah, that's correct. So I probably do 30 a week.
And that'll be plenty for you. You're not looking for growing it to where it can become very tough to do a group thing, I would think. Very tough.
It's possible, but harder for sure. Yeah.
Very harder. Okay. Well, there is, I'm going to read these 12 things, and then I think I'll identify maybe 2 or 3 that might relate to you. These are all sequential. Can go back to the day where you were starting out and you're saying, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to become this consultant and work through insurance companies and expand what I've educated myself to do. So that's the lesson one, is how to come up with a great business idea, how to identify your target market. You're in a very specific niche. Research your competitors. I don't know how much you've done that. Define your unique value proposition by knowing what they're doing. What have you done that you can set up what your total differentiator is, that you can tell your story about that differentiate you, and it's your unique value proposition, which you've just described to me, which I think is fabulous. And that's those lessons that you've done dealing with your consulting. Come up with the budget. You've already doing that. You're managing your budget. You're choosing to spend a few dollars on Facebook. Choose your legal structure. I'm sure you've already done that. Being 6 years, open a business bank account. You've done that. Finance your business. I don't recommend a lot of financing. I try to come up with ways that you don't have to do that. But crafting your story sounds like you've done that. And build and develop your business website. I don't know if you've done that, if you're just doing straight Facebook, social media pages that they can come and learn about you. Maybe you have a website. I don't know. In those years, have you put together a website to do marketing with that tells your story?
I have, but it's not really, I spend more effort in the Facebook part of it than my website.
And driving them there. Okay. And the last thing is the marketing your business, to choose your marketing funnel. And this is all business acumen, those 12 lessons that I do. And then I handle all sorts of questions that fit within there. But that's the business acumen side, Brian. The other side that I do is what I refer to as the business mindset, the success mentality acumen, getting right thinking, making sure that you start your day right, you plan it out, and you do some things that keep you going because it can wear on you, and you can make decisions that can sink your business, and it may not even be the business acumen side that's all set up to work well, but your thinking side can, what we call explode and derail you. And you've been 6-7 years at this, so you know kind of what your challenges have been in that side of things or not. But that's kind of what I deal with. And most of the time it's when people will ask a question and I can identify exactly, This is what you're doing to yourself. This is where your thoughts are. You're blaming a circumstance. You can't control a circumstance. It's your thoughts that's killing you. Let's talk about the thoughts. And I do that. This is the model I use. You may have been aware, very much so aware. It's called the CT-FAR model, which is circumstance, thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. And we focus a lot of time on the thoughts to make sure we're getting the right feelings that take you to the results you want, and let those circumstances not take control, and you get it to control back and your power back. So I use a lot of discussion on that CT-FAR model to help folks get their right thinking. And that's just kind of a brief overview of what I do. Your marketing side and this CT-FAR model and those kind of thoughts management, getting your goals done, that's where I would maybe answer questions, do some coaching on. So it's not like you've got the whole 12 lessons again. It's just picking that one or one-on-one like this to answer questions, and I bring in what I think would help, if in fact that might be an appeal to you. I don't know if that's appealing, but that's what I'd be doing.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I would say I would have a majority of that probably under control. I think I'm probably just looking more of like the marketing and how to spend the best amount into Facebook and how to get my clients through Facebook. I mean, essentially just how you got me to come and see you, right?
Right.
So that would be something that's probably my biggest bang for the buck, essentially. So,
well, let me tell you, I think this is a good to have gotten this on a free session. I'm going to tell you about a gal and how I came out across her. I'm going to refer her to you. I'm going to share a few things so you don't have the expense initially in this call, because ultimately, do you want to pay hours upon hours of your time and that not work and getting your account derailed or disabled and then rejecting an ad because they think it's multi-level, your wording's not right, all the audiences, not sent the audiences right, and some things in your video, if you do a video type lead situation, or if you're going to do the story out, do some, what I call one of the biggest things that I do is it's called results ahead of time. Having people have a sense of who you are by giving them a results ahead of them. You know, you go to shopping in a grocery store and there's little people at the stand with crackers and cheese and things, want to try our new product we're bringing in the store, and you take it and you go, oh, that's pretty good. I'll take that little spray cheese. Okay, that's great. That's kind of a result ahead of time mentality. And sharing what you do, giving a little bit of something in a podcast you do, or a little free consult, 30-minute, 15-minute free consult, whatever it is you need to basically say what you're doing for a free situation and how you want to package that in a video. That's very good. And once you have your video ready and you know your thumbnail pick is right, and you can, the little things that pops on that says see more and it has the bullet points, that really takes away any fear that it's a multi-level or it's some opportunity that's a little off the shady, so Facebook rejects. All those kind of things you can get set up, but it takes a lot of time and hit and miss and some dollars and time. A week, 2 month goes by and you're trying to still get it back and you get a little bit of results, but it's certainly not what people are wanting to do what you want to do. So I tell people about a company called Fiverr, Fiverr.
mm-hmm.
And there's a gal on there that I can text you her information. She's $75 for a 15-minute. She's $140 for a half hour and $250 for an hour. But let me tell you about Christina. What she can tell you and get done for you in an hour would blow your mind. She's so fast on how that Facebook Ads Manager works and all the ad sets and setting up the A/B testing and getting it down so you really have about 1 million to 1.3 million folks instead of 10 and 15 and 30 million that you're just spreading dirt on the wall and nothing's going to come, or you're going to get junk. Getting it narrow like I did and getting people who are coming in at the basis. And I do it like about $25 a day, but I have 2 ads going. So it's split between those 2, but I want to see which works well. And it's working wonderfully, but she helped me set that up so quickly. And you want to make sure you remind her, if you decide to do that, to record. And let's start, before we start, let's click record so that she can send you that video. Because she's going to go fast and show and talk about it, but recording what really, really will slow it down to helping you can stop and pause and look at your ad manager, stop and pause, get it set that way and stop and pause. And she'll do so much really to help you. Now, how many leads will get back that $250 if you do the hour? Well, if you're going to have to work, I don't know what your out of state one would be, but if it's $150 to $200 and you spend and the first thing that they pay you, I don't know if it's 250 or 200 right up the front. Well, you can get a 10, 12 ad leads of people just like you that I got for you, and you may have paid $12 or $10 for them, and how many keep the consultant with you, and then how many go with you. What if there was 10 of those leads and 4 decided to book with you? Okay, so you maybe have had $25 to $50 for that so that's 200 to get 4 people, but you've got that ongoing for 8-week pack and other things. So a break even is a win, is what I'm trying to tell you. And if it's anything even less, it's even more a high five exam, because you go on, you do the second month and the third week or fourth week, whatever. And it's just like this. If you put $100 in this pocket and by shifting it to this pocket, it turns to 125, I'll keep shifting it every day for 125 and make that 25 every time I cycle that. And that's kind of what I would suggest you do, is to get it set up, test it. She says test it for 48 hours. You spend $50 to $70 and see, because it's going to take them to do their little psyche stuff to go out and identify the right people with this algorithm that Facebook's doing. And then once you start to get 2 to 3 to 5 leads a day, or what numbers you're wanting to do, you're going to give it that number, so you can stop and say, okay, jump on her again and let her get it tweaked, and then let her run. And it'll be a steady appointment setting and doing your story. And there'll be anywhere in the country. You're going to know the age. You'll be able to set the parameters of the people you're really wanting to talk to and getting your story in front of. Then the question you're going to do is, what's the right kind of title? What's the little 5-minute video you're going to say? Are you going to do it in a way that the thumbnail that they see and they hit more to kind of open up, like you saw mine, it opens up and shows the bullets. And then you go on and let them see some more or get something free, and that's up to you. But she'll help you set that up. And because why I'm sharing it with you is because she's the expert in that. I tell people about that because I'm not a Facebook expert. I do all this other stuff, but you're right there. And it's unfair to me to say, let's just get them in and have them pay me money, when in fact, you're where you're at. And I'm more than happy to help you, to let you get connected with her and get off with it. And I'll be so thrilled because she'll be happy that I'm referring to her. I don't get an affiliate. I don't do the affiliate marketing with her. It's truly an honest thing with Christina. And she's very good. So I'll text her information in Fiverr so that you can pursue that on your own and decide how you want to go about it. She's honest. She's back east, and she's bright as all get out when it comes to Facebook. She has her own ad agency. So they have people who actually manage people's Facebook accounts, budget, and they just do it all. and you just are left to do what you do yourself. So if that's something that you'd like me to do, I'm happy to do that for you, Brian. Send that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be a great step. I appreciate you.
And what I'd like to do just to be in touch is I'm going to send you an email that is a link to what I call good to know Monday tips. I call it GTNMT, but it's good to know Monday tips. It's a weekly success tip or thought tip or whatever that I do, business tool tip, just like I'd be doing in Fiverr and that kind of thing. I do about a 10-minute little video tip, and it goes out and it's for free. I'd love to have you be a part of that, and that way you can stay in touch with me, what's happening. And as time goes, maybe we'll make a connection. I'd love to see how it goes. When you've got your business really rocking and rolling, that you're so excited, then I'd like to bring you on my business inside that you can't see because it's the site's for members only. In it, I have what's called Insights, and it's interviews with successful business owners to get into their mindset. And to do a little interview with them, how they started and what the walls they hit and what was the thing that really helped them more. I do little interviews like that, and I capture it, and people get to see those and watch those to help them start their business. So I might come back to you with this little thing and say, maybe you'll do that interview with me for free, and we'll go from there. How's that?
Okay, that sounds perfect. Thank you.
I don't want to cut this off. There's other questions you have. I'm happy to answer any you have, because we have up to full hour up to you, or you can cut it off because I don't know what your day's like, but I blocked it off, so it's available. But I just think it's only fair that it is a situation that really meets your need. And I think that's where we're at. And that's why I'm going this way.
Yeah, no, I think we're good. I appreciate your help so much.
You bet. Any other questions you've been thinking about your business and that has kind of nagged at you a little bit? And
not yet. I mean, mostly, like I said, it's geared towards marketing. So I'm sure things will change in the future, but for right now, that's where I'm at. So
what tools are you going to use other than Zoom to communicate with these folks?
A I mean, that's all I've really used so far. So,
Okay, I didn't bring it onto this, but in some of my coaching sessions, there is a thing called OBS. You might look that up, OBS. It is a special, how do I want to say it? It's a special way to set things up, and it's tied, you can tie it right to Zoom so nobody knows that you're doing it, but on another screen, you're seeing OBS, and there's scenes and sources and things that you can set up. And in the scenes, you could have special tools that are files that, for example, I just didn't set up here. I'm setting this up to put this on that when I talk about it, I just go click, it comes right on my screen, just like that. I don't have to hold it up and do it unprofessional like that. You can just click the button. And if you have a thing in your lessons, you get it all set up and it's all titled lesson 1 or module 1, such and such pick, such and such pick, such and so when you click it pops up and you're talking to them, then you click it back and you're back to talking to it. Then they come up again, it's the next step, you click it. It's just a great tool and it's free for you to professionalize your prezos in discussions and bringing them to visual aid what you're saying for those people. It's a great thing. And maybe if we're doing an email, I'll just click everything, put everything in it, and you'll have all the links to it and go from there. But my son told me about that. He's really a computer, whatever, and he helped set it up. And it's so great because I can be talking like this. And if you see, you can't see my mouse going on, but I can click, and all of a sudden, that 8.5 by 11 picks up onto my screen, and the person can read it and see it, and I can talk about it. I click it back, goes away. I can go to the next one. I can go to the next one. And it really makes it nice for them. Instead of doing all that publisher and bringing it into this and such work and expense. Whereas this, you just load them up. Once you're ready to go, you're on and you do your Zoom call through OBS/Zoom. And all they know it's a Zoom call. They don't know you have this system. And it kind of blows their mind when they see it. So as a reminder in the email that when I send it to you, everything that we talked about.
Okay, that'd be great.
Right. Well, it's been great. I'm glad we're able to get on, and I appreciate you reaching out. I wish you continued success. I hope everything goes well with Christina, and I'll let her know, give it a minute. I'll let her know through my messaging that I've talked with you, and he may or may not reach you anytime in the next day or two, but I wanted you to be aware that came through me, and he's a good guy. He's got a great thing that I think can help him, and then she'll be ready for you when you reach out to her. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
All right, Brian. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Continued success, sir.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Bye.